What's up guys, ChillSFM here, and Master Premier League is back, so you know I had to give my former Rank 10 team a chance to shine. If you're new to my channel, I used this team to climb into Rank 10 in Season 2. The meta has shifted since then, but only slightly. If you like seeing unique team comps and educational Pokemon Go content, be sure to like and subscribe. Now let's see how this team performs in Season 4. In this first battle, my opponent brings a Haxorus lead. Normally this is a neutral matchup if Machamp throws straight cross chops, but I have my Machamp best buddied and I noticed their Haxorus is not all the way leveled up, so I know I can win this matchup. My opponent brings in a Gyarados and I'm unable to see the animation, so I don't know if it's Dragon Breath or Waterfall. I put in Rhyperior hoping it's Dragon Breath, but unfortunately it's Waterfall, which does super effective damage to me, so I immediately switch out. They bring in a Magnezone, which Snorlax does pretty well against if he can land a superpower. I do have to play smart though, because when I throw superpower, both my attack and my defense will drop. Since my opponent was also switch locked, I could be pretty confident that they weren't going to throw Wild Charge too quickly. Knowing this, I could eat his first two charge moves without shielding. After that, I'm able to throw my own bait with Body Slam and then go straight for the superpower. Since Body Slam got the shield, superpower does a ton of damage and puts me in a very good position. Gyarados comes back in, so I switch to Rhyperior to clear the debuff on Snorlax. He immediately throws Aqua Tail and I shield. Rhyperior's Smackdown will be doing super effective damage to Gyarados, but these waterfalls are taking me out quickly. I throw Surf to get a little bit of chip damage, and then he farms me down. Luckily, Snorlax is very close to this Body Slam, so one lick and I get there. This Body Slam takes out Gyarados, and that's a GG. Moving into my second battle, I'm up against EasyPort, and he brings in a Magnezone lead. This is great for Machamp because both Counter and Cross Chop will be doing super effective damage. They switch into Dragonite, and this is the whole reason I have Smackdown on Rhyperior. I always invest a shield in this matchup just in case they're running Draco Meteor. After I shield once, I'm able to just farm down and have a ton of energy for whatever comes in next. If done correctly, you should almost have enough energy for 2 Surfs or 1 Earthquake. I almost always just throw the Surfs. This puts a lot of pressure on them to shield on the first one, and if not, it does a lot of chip damage. My opponent decides not to shield either of these Surfs, and Rhyperior is able to put Snorlax into the yellow before I decide to switch to my Machamp. At this point, there's not a whole lot my opponent can do. Both Snorlax and Magnezone are weak to both Counter and Cross Chop. Even if my Machamp is taken out, I have Snorlax in the back, which has access to Superpower, which is also a fighting type move. My opponent's Snorlax goes down and Magnezone comes in. I throw a Cross Chop and my opponent quickly realizes this is hopeless, so they end up quitting. That's a GG's. My third match is against Bento Box Killer, and they bring the worst lead that you could possibly see, a Togekiss. For Togekiss leads, I immediately switch to Snorlax. What you want is them to immediately switch as well. If they start to farm you down, this becomes a lot harder. This time, everything goes as planned, and they bring in their own Snorlax. I'm ahead on energy, so this is looking good. My top priority at this point is winning switch advantage. I don't want Machamp to run into Togekiss, and Rhyperior can take Togekiss out very easily. The Snorlax matchup is all about being patient. You don't want to throw superpower too quickly, or else you'll lower your defense, and they will win. I keep my energy full at all times. I find this makes it harder for my opponent to read what I'm about to do, and I have that superpower ready whenever I need it. Once my opponent's Snorlax is low enough, I go ahead and go for the superpower. If they don't shield, I get my switch advantage. If they do shield, I'll end up investing shields myself. They eat the superpower. This is great, it puts me in a good position. Togekiss comes back out, and I try to get to Body Slam, but I go down before I'm able to throw it. Here's another example of why Smackdown on Rhyperior is so good. I'm able to do super effective damage to Togekiss and get some energy on Rhyperior before they bring in their Garchomp. I pressure them to shield before switching to my Machamp. At this point, my top priority is having Machamp take out their Garchomp. Rhyperior can easily handle their Togekiss even if he doesn't have shields. Even though I'm confident that Garchomp is only throwing Sand Tombs, I go ahead and double shield. I know they won't be able to throw 2 Sand Tombs and still get to an Outrage. My opponent has no more shields, so this Cross Chop will be landing and doing some pretty good damage. I'm able to get Garchomp pretty low, and then they switch back into their Togekiss. My switch timer is not quite up, so I go ahead and throw this Cross Chop just to stall the clock. I immediately switch back to Rhyperior, but they have a charge move ready. Flamethrower does a little bit of damage to you, but Ancient Power won't do much. It is a Flamethrower, but that's fine. I'm still able to farm them down. I'm close to Surf, but Garchomp is able to throw a charge move. It's only a Sand Tomb, so I survive, and then I'm able to throw my Surf, and that's another win. So even on hard lead losses, you're able to win as long as you regain switch advantage when you use Snorlax. In my next matchup, my opponent brings a Metagross lead. Metagross takes neutral damage from both counter and cross chop, but resisted damage from Rock Slide. I never overfarm too much before throwing my cross chop. The last thing I want is them to think it's a close combat and shield. At this point, I just want Metagross out of the way. Even though Meteor Mash does neutral damage to Machamp, it still takes him out, so you have to shield. I continue to pressure them with cross chops, and they end up eating it and they go down. This is great. My opponent brings in a Togekiss. If Machamp wasn't so healthy, I would let him go down. But I want to preserve him, so I switch to Snorlax. My opponent's running a double Steel team. They bring in Excadrill. Excadrill typically runs Rock Slide and Drill Run, neither of which will take out Snorlax immediately. I farm up and I bait with the Body Slam first. I hope to get their shield. I do. Next I go for the Superpower. If this lands, it'll take him out. If not, I'll have both of his shields off. He ends up shielding, that's fine. After that, they try to farm me down, which is a big mistake on their part. I'm able to get to another Superpower. Even though I am debuffed, it still takes them out. Togekiss comes back in, so you know what I have to do. I line it up with Rhyperior, and my opponent instantly quits. Going into the final matchup, I met with a Machamp mirror lead. My opponent has the Hundo, but mine is best buddied, so I should be able to win this matchup. I let them throw first, and I'm able to sneak an extra counter in. They throw their cross chop, which does a little bit of damage, but I go ahead and farm up to 2 cross chops. I throw the first one, and it lands, so I go for the second one. My opponent anticipated the second cross chop coming through, and they switched to a Gyarados. This is a great swap by my opponent since Gyarados takes resisted damage from fighting type moves. Since this one's a Dragon Breath Gyarados, I'm able to switch to Rhyperior. I know Aqua Tails do a lot of damage to me, but it won't take me out. I decide to commit to farming down this Gyarados, so they get to another Aqua Tail. At this point, I'm going to have to shield. I do, and then I'm able to farm them down and have a Surf ready to throw at whatever comes back in. They bring Machamp back in, so I immediately throw the Surf. If this lands, it'll take them out. Machamp goes down, and Metagross comes in. I bring in Snorlax. Lick will be doing super effective damage. Body Slam is resisted, but Superpower is neutral. My opponent still has 2 shields. I need to get these off. Snorlax can survive 1 Meteor Mash, but I go ahead and shield the first one. I hope this encourages my opponent to shield as well when I throw this bait. They do shield, and then I go for Superpower. However, they're able to sneak in a Bullet Punch between my charge moves. They shield, and I switch to Machamp to clear the debuff. Machamp instantly dies, and Snorlax comes back in. At this point, they're able to throw their Meteor Mash. I survive, and I'm going for Superpower. It lights up, but I'm not able to throw it. If they wouldn't have got that 1 extra Bullet Punch through, that would have been a win. It would have been a 5-0, but they got it through. So it is what it is. 4 out of 5, can't complain. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful in any way, please make sure you like and subscribe. This is ChillSFM wishing you good luck in your battles.